You know what? This is just my hostel rewrite because this is a concept that could have been done really well, but they were lazy. So I'd have it open as the actual movie does. The three American tourist men being sex pests in Europe. And then they hear about the titular hostel in Slovakia, and they go to it, and I'd have it that all three of them disappear on that night. The POV then shifts to a private investigator who is being hired by the three men's families to go and find them in Europe. The PI essentially sees the destruction these three dudes left in their wake through like every place they hit and is like, well, they're probably in a ditch somewhere because they were disrespectful little shits. I'd have it that on the train to his next known destination, he overhears somebody discussing with three other American tourists about a hostel in Slovakia. How provocative this seemingly random businessman is making this location sound, and the PI becoming interested. When getting off the train, I'd have him tail the businessman and ask him about this hostile and wanting more information, to which the businessman responds with like, oh, are you here for that kind of tourism? And the PI playing along, hoping to find out where these three men may have ended up. I'd have it that the PI follows the three guys that the businessmen initially talked to, going all the way to the hostel with them and getting his own room. I'd have him tail the three, and then on one particular night while they're out partying, he sees them being kidnapped. The PI realized that this is not an incident of three Americans going missing randomly, but this is an operation being done by a larger group. The PI, of course, contacting the American embassy, maybe even people back in the States, and telling them about his findings. I'd have him also go to local law enforcement only to be brushed off and told to drop it. The PI now realizing that, oh shit, they're in on it too. I'd also have it shown that the private investigator is like kind to the children, so the children end up giving him a warning like, hey, you're asking too many questions and you're pissing off some people, you're going to be next. The PI essentially preparing himself for this, preparing to be taken by this group, and when he eventually is kidnapped, he makes sure to hide some things on his person, hoping that they don't take it while he is knocked out. When he comes to in the torture room, I'd have it that he uses what he took essentially to escape. Him sneaking around this facility, hearing the screams and wails of other people. I would have shots of him looking through peepholes and just the horrified expression on his face. Him coming to the realization that it's not just American tourists, it's tourists in general, especially those that do not have as wealthy of means. Him coming to a room that is filled with backpacks and clothes. I'd have it that some people are walking around the corner and he ducks into one of the unlocked and unused rooms, essentially waiting for the people to walk past, and he turns and he sees that it is covered in blood, discarded tools and dismembered body parts littering the floor, and a furnace roaring, seeing a skeleton burning inside. Him realizing that this operation is far more intricate than he could have imagined. Of course, he would get caught, have to fight his way out. Have it that he escapes to the American embassy and essentially calls his contacts, like begging them, telling them everything he saw. That if they get people out there quickly enough, he can even lead them to the base where he came from, only to be brushed off by the people on the other end of the line. Not their country, not their business. I'd also have it that the PI is wearing like those camera glasses, gain information, all that kind of stuff. I'd have it that the PI drastically changes his appearance before leaving the embassy and is getting help to go back to the States. While on the train, I'd have him see the businessman that enticed the other backpackers. I'd have him once again follow the businessman, but this time the businessman not really recognizing him. I'd have him talk to the businessman, just scolding him, how can you do this to people? And the businessman just being like, what do you expect? It's money. And I'd have the PI push the businessman in front of a train. Him getting arrested, but then it being shown that all the evidence he collected, he uploaded to the internet. He gave it to local and foreign newspapers, and it becomes an international incident. The film ending with him in jail, but him looking up at the news broadcasts and seeing the footage he has being displayed for the world to see. I'd have some shady individuals standing in front of his cell, slowly opening it. and leave it up to the viewer whether or not these are the rich people within this group that want to take revenge on him, or if he's being let go because the story is now out in the public.